begin with a little bit of box breathing, and I'll talk you through it, but it's a very simple little breath exercise where we imagine we're drawing a box. So we're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and hold for the count of 4. So in your mind's eye, you could just be drawing a box. So let's begin just by exhaling and emptying the lungs completely. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, continue with your own rhythm here. So you're just going to slow the count down or speed the count up. Whatever suits you. Silently counting. Closing the eyes if you haven't already done so. Swirling galaxy one more time with you in complete stillness at the centre. This equal part breath has been shown to really nurture the nervous system, to encourage us into that parasympathetic nervous state, rest and digest. If you feel any tension or any feelings that you need to breathe naturally, then just release the structure of the breath and just take some nice, normal, natural breaths. Otherwise, we'll continue with the box breath for another minute. And feeling free also to extend the count. Maybe your square has sides that count to 5 or 6. Rounds of breath here, so just 5 normal, natural inhales and exhales. We're not trying to change anything. after you have completed those natural breaths, we're going to bring ourselves down onto our mats. Once more laying down, you could definitely have the legs in that tent position rather than out straight. In fact, I would recommend it to begin with. So we're going to start with something called half wind relieving pose, and it does, as it says on the tin, it really improves digestion but also helps with lower back pain. So from this tent position, we're just going to begin by, on an exhale, bringing the right knee up towards the chest. And just gently putting a bit of weight behind the knee with that, maybe the clasped hands here. And you can stay just like this with the left leg in a tent position, or you can have a little go at extending left leg out long. And if you don't like the feeling of that, because we are going to be here for 3 minutes, then of course bring that left leg back into a tent pose. So wherever you are, let's just begin by checking that the backs of the shoulders are in contact with the mat and resting, relaxed on the mat. Relaxing the muscles in the face. And then just check in with the right leg first of all. And just remind the right leg that we don't need any effort, there's no trying here. You can just completely let go. Breath totally natural. Gently remind the left leg that it's also free to let go here, release any tension. And start to imagine that you can direct the breath into the right hip. And perhaps invite that right hip to open a little bit. So by that I mean, if you feel called to, you can let the right hip open, let the right knee just come over a touch to the right. See how that feels. Quick check in with the hands, just to be sure that we're not gripping on for dear life here, we're just creating enough weight. So we're just over halfway through. So thinking of exiting this pose, if the left leg is extended, let's just slide the foot back so we're in a tent position with that left foot. And then release the hands down so the palms face upwards and release the right foot. So it's in a tent position. And just stay here for a moment, noticing the difference. Quite often in yin, in these very gentle starting poses, we don't feel much until we exit the pose, and then you can feel the relief and the release in that right hip, right leg. Just taking a few breaths into the belly here. Waiting for what's probably feeling like a tingling or maybe a cool sensation in the right leg just to dissipate. And then we'll just take a very gentle side to side movement with the knees, massaging the sacrum against the mat here. Bringing those knees to centre, and when you're ready on an exhale, we're going to bring the left knee up towards the chest, taking the hands to just put some weight on the left knee, and again, right leg can stay exactly as it is, or you can try extending, your choice. And as always, if you extend and then you want to ease off later, then that's fine. So this time, checking in with the left leg first of all. Just releasing any effort. Relaxing the jaw and just making sure that the shoulders are just melting down onto the mat here. Ayurveda, we talk about Vata. Vata is energy, it's airy, and quite often Vata is said to be responsible for anxiety because it's that flighty kind of up in the air feeling. And Vata lives in the colon, so gentle compression like this is said through Ayurveda to help with anxiety. It's also said through medical science because stimulating all the nerves, compressing, massaging the nerves that help to regulate the nervous system. Again, perhaps just experimenting with opening the hip, just tiny little movements here. It could be millimeters, just allowing the left knee to open up a little bit and see how that feels. Sweet spot. We're about halfway through this pose. a few more breaths here. Just take a quick scan of the body, checking for any kind of tension. It tends to creep back in when it thinks we're not looking, so just breathe out if you find any. And if the right leg is extended, we're going to slide the foot in, so we're coming into that tent position, and then release the hands down, bring the left foot to join the right. And again, just take a bit of stillness here for a minute, just to feel any differences, any similarities. And then once more, little rock side to side, sway the knees. There could be a little bit of a numbness in the sacrum. The next pose will take care of that. So, next pose is going to be a supported bridge. So, really gentle with a bolster. If, of course, you feel like something a bit more firm, we can use the block. We can use it on setting 1 where it's really flat, setting 2 where it's on its side, or setting 3 where it's really high. Setting 3 maybe for another day. So a supported bridge with a bolster, I would say the easiest way of doing it is to come into a seated position. Place it horizontally just behind your sacrum, legs in a tent position, and then lean back. You may find that you then need to move that bolster a little bit lower down so it's supporting the sacrum rather than the lumbar spine, that curve in the back. Just going to have a check if you want. And please do give me a squeak or a raised hand if you need any help. And in this position you can take any movement here that feels comfortable. So you can extend your legs out long, you can raise the arms, you can bring the knees to the chest, or you can just stay exactly as you are. So we're enjoying a gentle elevation of the hips here, some weightlessness to the vital organs, and very gentle inversion. So halfway through, so if there's any adjustments that you'd like to make, like to ease off a bit or make it a bit stronger, this would be a good time. And again, just scanning the body for any areas of tightness or tension. Exiting this pose and all of these poses, I call it a dishevelled exit. So bringing yourself out of the poses very slowly, as if you've been asleep for 8 hours, so that we don't shock the nervous system. We've spent a lot of time getting ourselves really relaxed, so when we change position, just as if you were in a massage, you're going to take it really slow, really gentle. So, to come out of this bridge pose, my preference, as we're in a very gentle supported bridge, would be to kind of roll over almost into a fetal position and then gently push ourselves up. But if you can find an even more gentle way of doing so, please feel free. And we're thinking next of coming into a supported Sphinx pose. Now, we can do this with a bolster. It's even more gentle with a rolled up blanket, or a squished up blanket if the blankets are nice and lay down, you can't be bothered to roll it. I'll show you quickly. So Sphinx pose, elbows underneath shoulders, and we want the blanket or the bolster just supporting some of the chest. We're not using it to elevate ourselves and lift ourselves up proud or anything, it's purely just a bit of comfort. And in Yin Sphinx, I'm not encouraging you to look up here. We are just looking probably down at the space between your hands, rather than gazing upwards. Find a comfortable position with the legs, so the wider the legs are, the stronger the back bend. And closing the eyes if that feels safe to do so, or just zoning out into the space between the hands here. Leaning into that lower back, so just extending the back bend. We're in a gentle back bend with our bridge. It's a lovely pose for posture. So there's ways to make this stronger. Just remembering to be compassionate and that we're not trying to achieve or push ourselves. If you feel you like to, you can try bending the knees, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. So it's going to intensify that back bend. too playful here. You can try different things. We could maybe move, bending the right knee, lengthening the left. See how it feels, see how it interacts with the lower back. In the last minute, there's also the option to take it even further into a seal pose. So seal pose, we would keep ourselves exactly as we are, but just put some tension down through the arms, lifting the elbows so the hands stay in position. And again, seal's one of those positions that you can get yourself into and then think, oh no, actually, thank you very much, I've come down. So just listen to your back. Now coming out of this pose, so if you're in seal, just lowering down. You're going to take the elbows out to either side, perhaps just move the blanket so that you can perhaps place your head on it or just completely out of the way. And just bring the head down, either onto the hands of the blanket, side of the head on the hands, bend the knees, and just take some little sways with the legs to release that lower back. And then lower the legs down. Place the forehead onto the hands, and we're going to push it back into a tabletop. So perhaps taking the hands underneath the shoulders here, just so that we can push it back into a tabletop shape. And we're going to need the blankets again, because I'm going to suggest that we pad the knees. So moving up to Yin's version of a peak pose here. So this is the strongest really that we're going to get. I'm going to place the blanket there underneath where my knee is going to be. And we're thinking dragon, or could just be a low lunge. So just make sure that you've got easily accessible bolsters and blocks so that we can make this really comfy. So first of all, coming into a tabletop. So hands underneath shoulders and knees underneath hips. And then we're going to move the right hand over towards the left hand. And when you're ready, you're going to step the right foot so that it's in a line with the hands. Okay. And then from here, hopefully your blanket is slightly like mine. Now, just to say, you could stay exactly as you are, and at this point, you could already be using your blocks. And you could be up like this. This is one of those poses that you just need to find your own space with. I'm going to go into a full dragon, and you need to know that you can take anything in between the starting point and what I am doing. So full dragon, I've got my left leg as far back as it comfortably wants to go. And then I'm going to come down onto my left elbow and my right elbow, and I'm going to grab a block and put my head on it. Now my right foot, I'm coming into a winged dragon, where I'm coming onto the edge of my right foot. This is how I practice dragon, having done yin dragon for 5 years, okay? So if you're not in the same shape, I'm not surprised, okay? So that's what I'm saying, anything in between. So if you're just going to keep it in a nice low lunge, and you're here, that is perfect. And we're going to stay here just for 2 minutes. We've already done one, okay? So as I'm always saying, regardless of the shape that you're in, you're getting exactly the same benefits. So in this case, we're opening up the hips. And this is the challenge now, to ask the legs, the arms, the shoulders, the face, the whole body to trust you and to just give up any tension in the muscles. Okay, so to come out of this, I'm going to come up onto my hands. So if you're on your elbows at all, just coming up onto your hands. And then bring that left knee closer to you if you need to. And then we're going to step the right foot back. Maybe grab the bolster and have it in front of you so that we can come down into a really yummy child's pose. Maybe having the bolster, knees either side. And just place one side of your face on the bolster and relax. Again, sensing any differences between right and left hips, knees. Dragon, it's one of the things I remember about it is when you train, they warn you that people can feel quite angry during dragon because it stimulates the liver meridian, which is the meridian that kind of governs that anger emotion. I just think it's aptly named. Very, very good for sciatica. Okay, so when you're ready, we're going to rise up back into our tabletop shape so that we can enjoy that dragon on the other side. And you might find that it's completely different on the other side. So, taking your time to get into that tabletop shape again. And then when you're there, we're going to move left hand over towards right and step that left foot so we're in a line. And again, if you want to stay here, that's absolutely fine. Or we're going to extend a little bit. So sliding the breaking back. Walk the left foot forwards and just make it your own. So again, not worrying about what shape you're in. Awesome. Okay, so if you get down low enough and that left foot starts to open up, left hip starts to open up and you come onto the edge of that left foot, that is absolutely fine. Here for 90 seconds. So really use your breath here, but also, of course, knowing that you have the option to ease off at any point, or even just taking it back into that child's pose. And starting to think about coming out of the pose. So if you're on elbows, just lifting up onto the hands, floating the hips back a little bit. And we're going to come back into our child's pose. So taking the left leg back. Again, maybe grabbing a bolster and this time placing the other cheek on the bolster. Just melting down here. Pull you down. So we're going to come up nice and slow, as I say, really dishevelled, as if we've been asleep for a long time. We're just rising up, probably initially into a kneeling pose. And then we're going to need to take our legs out from underneath us. And as always, keep these props handy. So we've had our knees bent for quite a long time, so it feels like a good time to lengthen out. Have a little go at caterpillar. So, my favourite way of doing caterpillar, because I'm immature, I always think it looks really rude, it's ridiculous. So, I have the bolster here, rising up between the legs, and then the blocks there, but it really depends. You've just got to get it so that it's supported for you. So, it could be that you build a really high tower, and that would be fine too. Takes a bit of moving around, but then when you're ready, you're just going to come down and hug this bolster. You might need to play around a little bit with the position of props. But we're just looking for that edge. The edge that we're going to find in the hamstrings, in the calf muscles, that just tells you that you've gone far enough into this pose. Little tip, if the toes of the feet start to tingle, you've got a couple of choices. You could say it's unbearable and you can just really ease off and the tingling should stop. But you might find if you just make some little ankle circles on the toes, every so often it just stimulates blood flow. If you've got the head facing one way, then now would be a good time just to swap sides. thinking about exiting now. Last on an inhale, bring yourself up nice and slowly. Take the props off to one side for a moment. And then place the hands behind you when you're ready, no rush. Nice and wide so we don't pinch anything in the back. And taking the feet to the width edges of the mat, as much as we did when we were on our backs, we're just going to roll side to side here. If that feels okay to you, and I'm going to practice eagle arms. So I'm just going to sit up just in case somebody isn't sure what eagle arms look like. We're going to do it laying down. So eagle arms, we take the arms up in the air to start with, so hands pointing towards the ceiling. And then we're going to cross right arm over left. And then you're thinking about wrapping hands around each other, so you're coming into a twisty shape. I can never explain this properly. Can you see that? So you cross them, and then see if you can cross again. The alternative is to just give yourself a hug, just one of these. You'll be doing exactly the same thing. You've all got it now. Lovely. Okay, so. Let me just get into position as well. Now, once you've got that basic wrap sorted, we're thinking about gently, key word here, gently encouraging the hands away from the head and the ground. So as if you're lifting the hands towards the ceiling. And notice the tension that this causes and the warmth. But behind that tension, just see if you can release anything from the muscles. The muscles in the backs of the shoulders, the muscles in the hands, but also the muscles in the face, and the eyes, and the mouth, and the chest. Just feeling that warmth that this bind creates. We're going to take 3 more breaths just like this. And then on an inhale, we're going to open our wings, so just release that bind and just open the hands out long at shoulder height. Take a look over towards the left fingertips, and then let the right knees just fall down towards the right hand side. Not the right knees, both of your knees fall towards the right hand side, so we're coming into a leg twist. And once you're there, we're going to stay here for 3 minutes, so there's loads of time for you to really find that Goldilocks spot. Lift the knees a little higher, you can lengthen the legs to make it stronger. Or you could go the other way and make it gentler by taking the knees a little lower. If you are looking over towards the left, just be sure that you're not straining the neck in any way. extended, we're going to bend the knees. And just when you're ready, bringing it back to centre, back into that tent position. The arms can stay as they are for a moment. And now we're thinking eagle arms on the other side. So we wrapped right arm in the left arm last time. So this time we're on an exhale. I'm going to bring the hands up towards the sky again. This time left is going to cross over right. Wrap that right arm round, twist it round the left. And then again, thinking about lifting the elbows so that they're about level with your mouth and your nose. And then encouraging the hands up gently towards the sky. Trying to get underneath all of that surface tension to bring some kind of relaxation into the muscles of the arms, the shoulders, the face, the chest. It's a really good way of getting rid of shoulder tension and tension in the chest and the pectoral muscles. So 5 more breaths here, just thinking about squeezing everything into that centre line. Ready on an inhale, we're just going to open up, spread the wings out, arms long at shoulder height. And then taking a look over towards the right hand and allowing the knees to fall towards the left, turning from the waist, coming into our twist. And just taking up space here, just let everything go. We have another minute here. Just going to start putting blinds down and things ready for nidra. So, when you are ready to come out of this, bring the legs into your tent position. I'm just going to wander around, make sure everyone's got things close to hand, it looks like you have. So, I'm going to be spending the next 25 minutes in relaxation. So we want to make sure that you have everything you need to be relaxed. So if anybody, we've got so many blankets here and cushions and things, if anybody would like any extra blankets. Hopefully you've all found your lavender eye pillows. You can use those on your forehead, your chest, your eyes. They've got covers on, so some of you that's used them today or since they've been washed. Extra blanket for me? Yeah. Nice big fluffy one. Okay, you're all okay? So yeah, just knowing that you can make any adjustments at any time. If you do happen to fall asleep, that's absolutely fine. I will try to keep you gently engaged. So, yoga nidra is sometimes referred to as yogic sleep, and it's very different to standard savasana, where unfortunately during hour-long sessions anyway, we only ever usually have 5 or 10 minutes. I will be taking you through several different techniques that are designed not only to relax your body, but to actually nourish and nurture your brain. So it's actual neuroscience. It's the reason we say it can be as effective as 8 hours sleep is it engages the parts of the brain, the neuroreceptors, that good solid sleep engages. It basically brainwashes you in a really good way. It cleans all the pathways in the brain, improves cognition, improves memory. It has a whole host of benefits. I would invite you to look into it perhaps after class. So, I will guide you through. So begin by closing the eyes if you haven't already done so, and taking a moment to just tune into your breath. And just as we did at the start of class, we're not looking to change the breath in any way, just noticing, observing. And then checking in with your body. Experiencing the body as heavy and relaxed. And I'm going to first of all take you through a round of something called progressive muscle relaxation. And before I do this, just know that if you try this with me and you start to feel that actually it's not working for you, it doesn't feel good in your body, simply imagining that you are tensing the parts of the body that I ask you to tense has exactly the same effect as actually doing it. So if I ask you to tense your fist and you think, I don't want to tense my fist, just thinking about tensing your fist is going to have the effect that we want it to have on your brain and on your body. Okay? So I'll talk you through it nice and gently. You can either actually tense the muscles or you can just imagine yourself tensing the muscles. This is how amazing our brains are. So let's start by just taking a few deep breaths. Just 3 deep breaths, inhaling slowly through the nose and exhaling through your mouth. begin our round of progressive muscle relaxation. So to begin with, clench both of your fists really tightly and hold this for 5 to 10 seconds. And when you release, just slowly release and focus completely on that sensation of relaxation in the hands. Now an invitation to bend at the elbow and flex your biceps, really tensing the arms. And then release and just let the tension melt away. And now shrug your shoulders up towards your ears as high as you can. And then slowly release and relax the shoulders. Now press the back of your head against the floor, feeling the tension in the back of the neck. And then release and feel the relaxation. Now squeeze your eyes shut, scrunch up your face, pucker your lips, just do whatever you can to really hold tension in the face. And then let all of it go and feel the difference. On the next inhale, take a really deep breath, filling your chest and your tummy. And just hold on to that for a few seconds before exhaling slowly and feeling the relaxation spread throughout the upper body. Now arch your back slightly and hold that. Feeling the tension in the spine and the ribs. And then release. And just let the back be natural. Tighten your thighs, lift your knees, and squeeze your calf muscles. And then just let all go. And now scrunch up your toes and push your heels into the floor or the mat underneath you. Release and relax. And just enjoy the feeling of relaxation throughout your body. Now we begin the process of yoga nidra, a rotation of consciousness where I will name many different parts of the body, and as I name each part of the body, your role is to simply observe that part of the body with complete neutrality. We're not necessarily trying to relax that part of the body or release any tension or any discomfort. We're simply bringing gentle, compassionate awareness to each part. Throughout the journey around the body, I will remind you to remain aware and awake. You may find yourself in a state of consciousness that is between waking and sleeping, and that's fine. Should you fall asleep, you'll still benefit, but do try to stay awake if you can. Bringing awareness to your right little toe. Right fourth toe. Right third toe. Right second toe. Right big toe. The sole of the right foot. The heel. The top of the right foot. Right ankle. Shin. Calf, kneecap, all the muscles and ligaments and tendons in the knee, the space behind the knee, the back of the right thigh, the front of the right thigh, right hip, right waist, right underarm, right shoulder, upper arm, elbow, the space behind the elbow, forearm, wrist, top of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, right little finger, right ring finger, right middle finger, right forefinger, and right thumb. And just silently telling yourself, I am in yoga nidra, I am aware. And now bringing awareness to the left little toe, the fourth toe, the third toe, the second toe, and the big toe. The sole of the left foot, the heel, the top of the left foot, left ankle, left shin, calf, left kneecap, the joint, the ligaments, all the little muscles in the knee, the space behind left knee, the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh, left hip, left waist, left underarm, left shoulder, upper arm, front and back, left elbow, the space behind left elbow, the forearm, front and back, wrist, the top of the left hand, the palm of the hand, left little finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, left thumb. And again, I am in a state of yoga nidra. I am aware and I am awake. Now bringing awareness to the right buttock, the left buttock, the sacrum, the tailbone, and taking awareness of each vertebra one by one, and I will count. The tailbone is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, moving up now into the lumbar spine, 6, 7, 8 in the middle of the back, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, coming up near the shoulders, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. From the tailbone up to the neck, awareness of the whole spine, all 26 vertebrae. And then bringing awareness to the ribs, the left ribs at the back and the right ribs at the back. The right shoulder in contact with the floor, the left shoulder in contact with the floor. The back of the head and the crown of the head. Bringing awareness to the groin, to the abdomen, to the navel, the upper abdomen, the breasts, the chest, and the collarbones, your neck and throat, the jaw, the ears, the temples, and the forehead. And bringing awareness to the right eyebrow and the left eyebrow and eyebrow center. Bringing awareness to the right eye and the left eye, the bridge of the nose, right nostril, left nostril, right cheekbone, left cheekbone, the lips, the teeth, and the tongue. Bringing awareness to the whole body. The whole body aligned and exactly as it is. The whole body resting. Just enjoying a few moments of silence in this quiet state of Yoga Nidra. And now starting to bring awareness back to your breath. And perhaps deepening the breath a little bit. Starting to gather energy. When we practice Yoga Nidra, it can take 5 or 10 minutes to really come back. So we're going to take it very, very slowly this afternoon. So perhaps start to think about making some very, very gentle and small movements. Perhaps just gently rolling your head against the surface underneath it. Or just gently rubbing your fingers and thumb together. And whilst you take these few minutes to call your energy back and wake up, I'm going to read you a poem. Some of you will have heard me read this in the springtime because I loved it. And I just think it's a lovely way to wake up. Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of the wild things, who do not tax their lives with full thought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars, waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free. So knowing that there is absolutely no hurry, just taking your time to bring yourselves out of meditation. Eventually coming up into a seated position, but just, as I say, taking it easy.